Okay, if you're finally ready to turn your KDP side hustle into a full-time business, then sis, you clicked on the right video, because today I want to talk about some tips that you can take between now and the end of the year to set yourself up to become a full-time author in 2024. Now, if you like this type of content, go ahead and like this video for your girl so that I know to keep putting out more content like this, teaching you ways to make more money online. And if you're new here, hello, I'm LaToya Nicole, and I've grown my coloring book brand into a multi-six-figure business. So now I help others just like you establish and expand your author brand through my entrepreneurship program at bookbaguniversity.com. So if you're looking to start or grow your business, then I highly recommend going to check it out at bookbaguniversity.com. Now let's talk about becoming a full-time author. The first step to become a full-time author on Amazon KDP before the end of the year is do not quit your job. Wait a minute. That's the whole reason that I want to become a full-time author, is so I ain't got to work, sis. So what you talking about? Don't quit your job. Not yet. And the reason that I highly recommend this is because it's what I did. So I still worked my corporate job and I bootstrapped my business, meaning I used the money from my job, from my savings, to actually invest in my business while I was still working. So if your goal is to eventually quit your job, then go ahead and start saving now. Now, most people recommend that you save at least 6 months worth of savings. Now, I ain't do that. But what I did do, the corporate job that I was working at offered 401k. So I did go hard with saving in 401k so that I would have cushion if I needed any type of cushion. And with that, I want you to also understand counting up the cost. Now, what prompted me to think about this is because I got up this morning like 4 o'clock, y'all. I was studying and I got to the scripture where Jesus was saying to count up the cost. The scripture where he was like, for which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth up the cost, whether he has sufficient to finish it, right? What he's saying is, think about it like you're getting ready to build a house. So you're getting ready to get your new home, and before you get ready to get your new home, you make sure that you're gonna be able to afford your mortgage. You go ahead and sit down and plan to make sure you're gonna be able to afford the appliances that you're gonna need in the house. You count up the cost before the home is even built to make sure that you're gonna be able to live in that home, right? Because it would make no sense for you to go in knowing that you can't afford it. So you count up the cost so that you don't go in blindly. It's just a sense of planning what you have to take on, because in the business world, there are expenses. Like, think about your LLC. If you want this to be a business, the least thing you should do is consider getting an LLC for your business. Now, you can do that by going to your Secretary of State and going through that whole process. And then you may want to go through the copyright office to get your book copywritten. Then you may want to get a trademark for your business. So there are things that will come up in your business. Oh, and don't let me forget, listen, y'all, I'm telling y'all up front, count up the cost for taxes. Because listen, Amazon does not take out the taxes when you get your monthly income. So Amazon pays once a month. So you'll get that check thinking, I just got this $1,000 or this $2,000 or this $3,000. Listen, we about to go shopping. You might get your family in the car. Y'all go to Conky. Y'all doing all this stuff. You done spent the whole $3,000 and you ain't know that you owe 30% of that. So listen, these are things I'm just saying, count up the cost. So go in and just figure out some of the things that you're going to want for your business and start factoring those things in. Factor in some of the things that it actually takes to run a business, just so you'll be aware up front and you won't get hit with low blows because you've already gone in and counted up the cost, because you don't want to start building your house, your book business, and then get into it and then you're like, I thought these YouTube people told me that they be making like $20,000 a month. I only made $300 a month. I'm about to quit this, forget this. But don't you know that sometimes it takes years to build a house? It can take time to build a house, right? That doesn't mean you give up on the house because it's being built. You stay in and you see it through, right? And that's no different in business. So I'm just saying that to encourage you to just plan up front to set yourself up as a business and to run as a business. But just know that things do come with businesses, and don't let those things discourage you or make you decide that you no longer want to do it because you ain't count up the cost. All right, now speaking of cost, The next thing is going to be determining your target income. So you're going to determine how much you want to make. Once you figure out how much you're going to need to make to sustain your income at your full-time job so that you can eventually quit, then you're going to determine how you are going to actually meet that income goal. Think of things like, how many books are you going to need to create for this to happen? And let's say, for example, your target income may be $2,000 a month. So you can go to the pricing, royalty, and distribution page, and you can see that, let's say on your book, you make $3.73 for your royalty per book sold. So then you'll know you need to sell X amount of books in order to meet that $2,000 a month income goal that you had already said that you needed in order to cover your monthly expenses. Well, in order to get to that $2,000 a month, you know that if you just sell books alone, then you'll need to sell about 536 books a month. And let's say right now you're only creating paperback books. So one of the things you may want to do to start increasing your income is to make those paperback books hardcover books as well. On KDP, the minimum amount of pages that your book can have is 75 pages in order to make that book into a hardback book. So you may want to consider making your paperbacks into a hardback so that customers have the option, and then this can increase your sales. Something else you may want to do if you know you need to meet that minimum is think about adding products like digital products. So you may want to list your product on your own website and then sell it as a PDF file where you can sell the whole book, or you can even sell the individual coloring pages as a digital download. Think of creative things that you can do to start diversifying that income so that you can meet the goal that you're looking to meet. And in my publishing planner, I actually have a sales tracker listed inside of the book where you can keep up with your monthly sales and your monthly goals for your books. And I'll leave the link below in the description. Okay, and the next step is to focus on niching down. So think of niching down as the difference between maybe a dog coloring book versus a sheepoo coloring book. You see how I went from talking about dogs in general, which can be about any dog, to a very specified type of dog, like this little cutie here that was sleeping. So instead of doing something so broad, niche down so that you'll be able to hit a specific audience and capture sales in an area where other people may not be niching down to get. On KDP, the top 3 things that you want to keep in mind to boost your sales or to set your book up for success on Amazon is your keywords, your cover, and your title. Those are 3 things you always want to put weight on. On your KDP backend is where you'll have 7 slides that you can actually list keywords that you find from Amazon's drop down into that keyword section. Same thing with your title. Relevant keywords go in your title. So if you know your book is for a specific niche, you want to put that inside of the title so that people who are looking for your type of book will see it when they're searching on Amazon. And for your cover, all you're going to do is start looking at some of the books that are already selling in your niche. Take note of their background colors. Take note of how big the font is. You see how this is white and it stands out good with the black background. So just take note of what your competitors are doing. Do not copy them, but use it as inspiration so that you'll know what the details are that are grabbing their customers' attention when they're scrolling on Amazon looking at that book. Now, I have plenty of YouTube videos showing how I create my book covers, just like I created this book cover. Now, this book cover I created using AI, okay? I use Midjourney for this. But if you're not comfortable creating your book cover, or you try to create your book cover and you notice it doesn't line up with some of the covers that you see that are selling, then you can always outsource your book cover using sites like Fiverr. I'll leave the link for that below as well. Okay, and now you want to focus on your income stream. So KDP is just one income stream, okay? You can sell your products on Ingram Spark. You can get your books on Ingram Spark if you want them to be in bookstores or retailers. So this can expand your income as well. And then there are wholesale accounts like Fair. When you list your book on Fair, you sell the books in bulk. So you can increase your revenue there as well. And like I had mentioned in previous videos, one of the reasons that it's so important to diversify your income streams is not only so that you make more money, but so that if something were to happen on one of your accounts, like something happened with my KDP account last year and it was terminated, then you won't have had all your eggs in one basket and then your whole business is gone, right? So that is why it is very important to find ways to diversify your income. And I also highly suggest once you start building your business, start teaching people your process. Start a YouTube channel. Get on YouTube and start sharing with people how you're publishing your books, what you're doing. People like learning from people that is 1 or 2 steps ahead of them. So start documenting your process on YouTube and on social media. All right. And for the last tip, speaking of social media, you're going to want to scale and grow your business, and you do that by marketing your business. You're going to always need to be marketing. Now, when I first started, I kid you not, I thought that if you had like an influencer that shouted you out, you was set for life. I thought you ain't never had to do marketing again because all you needed was this one big time person, and that was going to set your business up for life. Now, listen, marketing, you have to continuously keep your brand in front of people so that they will be reminded of you and begin to know, like, and trust you, because everyone does not buy your product when they first see it. Sometimes people need to see your product 4 and 5 times before they make the decision to say, oh yeah, I remember that brand. I saw them on another page, or I saw this influencer post that brand on their page. I think I am going to check them out. You know, sometimes it just takes a couple of times before they see it. So you have to continue to market your brand and to scale your brand. And you do this by using social media. When I first started, I started on Facebook and Instagram. Now in my business, I use Instagram and YouTube, but I specifically have been focusing on YouTube for the last couple of months. Because the thing about YouTube is that it's like having your business on autopilot, because once you start putting your business on YouTube, then it shows up in search results. Even on Google, if you start searching for something, it'll show up in the search results. So it's a great way to get your business out there and start finding customers that'll love you and your brand and your books. Just find a consistent schedule that works with you. For me, I started posting once a week on YouTube, but for the end of the year, I said to myself, I want to focus on posting at least 2 videos a week. So that's where I am now. You just want to pick a consistency that works for you and your business as well as your schedule, so that you're still getting your brand out there, but you're not overwhelming yourself, right? So if you work a 9 to 5, maybe you want to post on YouTube in the evenings or on the weekends. But just remember, marketing is not something you do just one time. You have to continuously keep your brand in front of people. But overall, if you want this to be a business, then start treating it like a business before it actually is a business. And you'll set yourself up for the success that you want to see. All right, guys, thank you so much for liking and subscribing to my channel. And leave me a comment letting me know what your overall goal is. Is your goal to quit, or is your goal just to make some extra money on the side? Now, I don't know for sure what type of books you're already publishing, but let's say you're publishing coloring books right now and you want to add journals to your books on KDP to start building your business. Then watch this video next. And let's say you're already publishing journals. Now you want to start adding high quality notebooks to your line of books. Then watch this video next. All right, guys, until next time, bye-bye.